So it has happened again. This time you have an interracial family being targeted with a racist letter, telling them basically to move out. So now, this anonymous letter is being reported by a local California news station that told a family called the Vacaville, or the Vacaville family, to move out before they were evicted from the home that they bought late last year, reported the San Francisco Chronicle. So now this is the Yu family, actually, that lived in Vacaville. And the letter said, quote, "This is not the ghetto. We may sound harsh, but your interracial family is not welcome here." Interracial family. Really? That is very bold of them to claim that, oh no, you're not welcome here. By who? Who are you? Who are you? No, it gets worse. Quote, "We will contact your landlord and tell them to evict you if you don't vacate in the next 60 days. So, again, who are these people? We'll contact your landlord. Really? Really? Who are you? Who are you? You don't pay their rent. What's wrong with you? Now, look, the only people that I think should not be welcome are idiot racists. Now, this is the family of Mark Yu, right? So now he's a 43-year-old husband and father, and he recently, when he found this letter, he ended up posting it to social media to point out how ridiculous it is. He said, quote, "It's a stupid letter. I can't believe this type of thing happens still in 2019. Well, I'm not shocked. Again, I talk about politics, though, all the time. So what's, I guess, not shocking to me is shocking to a family that has never seen this stuff before or never had anything happen. Now, normally, racism isn't as prevalent towards people of Asian descent as it is for people like African Americans. Now, it's not to minimize any of that. It's just to point out how I don't think it happens as much. Maybe it does. I have no idea. Look at me. I'm pasty, right? So I don't know. Feel free to correct me. But I'm under the assumption, correctly or incorrectly, that it happens more to people who are African American and Latino than necessarily Asian. But again, what do I know, right? Nonetheless, right? I'm still not shocked about this because when you follow politics, when you follow what the right wing's doing, when you talk about Donald Trump and you see the people that are, he surrounds himself with, the people in the far right, it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise. And so now there is one good thing about it is that this, I think, is starting to die out, right? Now, the people, for example, who fought against civil rights for African Americans, for example, they're still alive. That hate gets passed down as well to younger generations. But I think overall, it is shrinking. I think what's we're seeing here is sort of the last gasp of white supremacy, right? Now, that said, they got love from the community, and I think that's great. The article notes that the neighbors had knocked on the family's door after that social media post circulated to let them know that they were welcome. So they're like, hey, no, you guys are welcome in this community. Whoever wrote that letter is a supreme jackass, supreme jerk. Don't listen to them. Okay, listen to us. We're your neighbors. You are welcome in this community. Now, that's great, right? Now, police also got involved, but they said that the letter, while it was disturbing and disappointing, it wasn't actually a criminal violation. And that's true. That's just being someone being a ridiculous racist. But it's pretty terrible to tell people to leave based on nothing significant. Now, it was also mentioned that Yu, who was Chinese and Filipino, and his wife Sandy, who was Latina, received an earlier letter by mail about 2 months ago complaining about the state of their yard. So now, Yu said that the home's prior owners had not maintained the lawn, which was mostly weeds, and he claims that he'd been too busy to make all the needed improvements since moving in. So, look, I get that. I can understand that, right? Now, I can also understand some of the neighbors being a little pissed because that yard is a mess, right? I mean, it got so bad that a code inspector from the city had visited, and the family ended up cleaning up a shelf, small plastic shed, and took a new stroller out of the yard. So I guess it was a mess, But apparently it was a mess from the previous owners, and the people were just too busy to pick it up immediately. Okay, look, again, I understand that sometimes you can get super busy, and there's a lot of stuff to do, and so, yeah, it takes a while, right? I get it, right? That letter's fine. The racist letter, not fine. In fact, terrible. Now, the letter said, according to you, quote, that letter wasn't as bad as this one. You guys needed to clean it up. That's understandable. I had pride, so I cleaned it up. Well, there you go, brother. Not a problem. The clean up the yard thing, perfect. Perfectly fine. You know why it's important? Because it does impact the property values from around the house. Clean up your yard, perfectly fine. But racist letters, telling them to leave because they're an interracial couple and you're not welcome here? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Come on, come on. I'm guessing they're probably not the same people that sent the letter, but you never know. But this situation, as far as telling people to leave based on nothing but racism, happens too far, too many times, too frequently, right? Far too frequently. I mean, you have community segregation, by the way, which is still a problem. You have issues like redlining, gentrification, denying applications for minorities, et cetera, right? However, I'm actually glad, though, that there is a positive response to this, sharing it on social media, and that this kind of thing is getting attention so that we can have conversations, right? And then finally figure out how to be more welcoming to others and to encourage making our neighborhoods more diverse and therefore better. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a patreon.com/TYTNation set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.